Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Warmer Crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In this very last part of our Christmas journal, our Santa Claus journal, it doesn't have a name yet as of this moment yet, but I've got an idea, and maybe by the end of this session it will really truly come to life and I know what to call this. So last time we added the signatures, we made the journal, almost had a bit of a hard time there with the journal cover being almost too small for the covers, for the signatures. Don't know how that happened, but we embrace imperfections and it's all part of the process. Now it's a softer type of cover. It's not very sturdy like my usual ones, but it just gives that old world feel and it will truly be vintage not so long after this. I'm going to add a bit of inking to the edges of the cover just to bring in that vintage look as well. And we now need to just finalize last little bits of the ephemera, maybe a few more pockets, so that we can add our little things. So let's jump right into it. I'm sure by now you know that I use vintage photo for my journals. Just going to ink that edge of the cover just to bring in that vintage feel. Going to do that right around. A bit of glue that got stuck there, and maybe there on the fold on the other side as well. So there we have that. Now the insides, let's see. We need to add our ephemera pieces. We've got a few things. I'll bring that all closer. We need to finalize this as it's the last part of this. Now we haven't done anything for that pocket yet, but there we have that one. We can maybe add him with a little clip. He's too cute. Best space, you can add a photo at the back. I just want to grab my little container with those wonderful little Tim Holtz clips. Let's do an old vintage brown. And I realize I'm a bit out of view, so we added that one there. You can round the ends if you so wish. I would like to add one of these little ones here, but as a pocket. Just waiting for the glue to run down. That can be a little pocket with enough space for journaling, for photos, for a beautiful list, shopping list maybe. Can really truly be anything. We've got quite a few of these big ones. Some of this we can actually round the corners and ink the edges. Then I can add them, call it a day on these. Let's get that ink going. Almost dropped it. Almost dropped it. This is quite white. So we can add two of those as we've got the bucket. There's a little elf. And I am going to fuzzy cut this one and follow the line that was given with a print, the visual. There is a bit of a cut off, but it doesn't matter. Where it's too short to leave the little white edge, and also with the Santa's hat, the same thing is going to happen. I am following the line of the printing. There is this type of border around it, and of course I will be inking the edges. I love the sound of when I am working on the edges to ink it. I'll follow the same line to add glue to make the pocket. So let's see what else we can add to this wonderful little journal of ours. All right, we can add one more. There's the back of that. Let's get one of those tiny little circles going. Let's just turn it upright. And that little paper clip. There's so much space for journaling and adding all kinds of little things. Let's use one of these other little clips for a change, just for a bit of variety. These ones are just in there, so we can maybe add these. Yes, you guessed it. I'm going to add that and then glue to the bottom half of it. And in a minute or so it will be dry. And there's a different type of tag. I added 2 of those, front and back. And we also have this little flap where you can also, didn't do the stenciling yet, don't think I will get to it either. Those little pockets, let's quickly put something in there. We put some glue in, so those are definite little pockets. We need 3 of those. There we have that. I think that is too cute. And let's round the corners of this one too. Medium one. I like the medium size of this corner rounder. And yes, I will be inking it. And we can slot that in there. It picks up the red anyway. Let's do another one. What else is there? I've got these bits of ribbon left from doing the cover. And yes, you guessed it. I'm going to add it on there and staple it on. Just adding a little on there, added the little tag there, then I stapled that bit of ribbon to, and adding that in there. Now this can easily be turned into anything. Also a bit of paper, can be a pocket, I can fold it over, so that it's a little bit more sturdy. So going to glue this down. Don't want to push that into the ink now, but maybe like that. Folding that in, and I'm going to burnish it with the nails, and then just add a little bit of liquid glue to the sides and make it a pocket, or a tuck spot actually is the word, not a pocket per se. So we can add something in there. We must just find something to add in there, or make something quickly. I think these ones are just too wide to fit in there. I'll have to cut it down quite a bit to fit in. Maybe this one will be easier to cut down. Should fit in nicely now. There we have it. And we can push that back in. That's the beauty of having this. You can slide in your papers or slide it out as you wish. Let's see which one we can add there to the pocket. I want to cut the bottom part because that's his beard. So now I need a circle punch, as I want to turn this into a pocket. Get the mid part of that, line it up, and punch. So I'll keep that for a moment. Ink it again. Well, not again, but the first time. But I mean again, in the sense that I'm inking all the ephemera pieces. And this one. So, going to add it with some liquid glue. So we have that, this one, this part, that, this one, still a tiny pocket. We still have all these ones. So we still have a lot of ephemera to add, quite a bit in fact. Haven't made belly bands yet, but we've got all of these ones still. That. And yes, they can simply just all be added as they are pretty enough, and maybe at another time when I have the time I can finalize this properly and truly make this my own, or if I'm going to gift it to a person, do it according to their tastes. Always better with these tiny little paper clips, and there truly is no need for it. I only get it on the second try, and there we have that. So a lot still, we can add some in there. I just want to see what we still have. I still have quite a few big ones, all these tiny ones, some circle ones. Going to ink this heavily on the edge so we can hide that white. That there, you can see the strip there. Once I inked it, it's not so visible anymore, which is a good thing. Just want to score this quickly. Ruler. You can cut it loose if you want to. And maybe trim this one a tiny bit more, just so that it has the leeway to fold properly. I anyway didn't ink the outside, so let's do that edge quickly as well. We can now just slip that in, and it can hook over the edge of that, like that. We can have this in there. That can go there. That's there. Quite interesting. Oh, yeah, these ones. I did forget about you. We can add them also with a clip. The pages moved a bit, but it's easily rectified. I want to just add maybe one without his hat. That one seems to be quite friendly as well. Going to add him to the bucket. Now to add a few things to the front. Let's add one there as well, just because we can. We already got that one. We glued that down. I've got that. I've got all these tiny little ones that can be added, and also these ones can be added. I know there's a lot more that can be done. You can include the pieces as ephemera, so people can glue it down where they want to. That's why I'm not gluing all down. It can easily be put where people want it to be. Just get that one back. This one. Right. So there's still a few tags. If you gift this to somebody, they can decide how they want to decorate that. We still need to add something to the front. I'll use this one. Nice little addition. You don't really know what is behind this. You just think it's that. We still have those. Not to say that I have to use that, but we also have this tiny little one and these pieces. We can add this one, or at the bottom. I'm going to add him to the bottom of this card. That can stay for another project, like so easily. Now this last little bitty, let's ink these two tiny ones. I'm going to close the glue, if I can find the gap. And the liquid glue. Just inking these tiny ones. Have to ink this. Act seriously, as there's quite a bit of white here. It now looks like dark brown paper. Well, a brown, not dark brown, but brown. So, We can add that just as it is. And then I want to use these tiny little ones. Maybe somewhere there. And I just need some double-sided tape for that. A bit of dimension. This is not my favorite tape, but that's what I have. And I have to start using it. I need to just cut it a bit shorter. So, add that. And now for this one. And I'll try to use that one. There. All right. Just need to close that. Now to get this backing off. That's why I don't like to use this roll. But mine was done. And I have decided to use what I have. And I have this massive big roll still. That one came off a whole lot easier. Let's put in there. And this one, not too far. Maybe there. I'm going to stamp on here with some, I think, red ink, which would be lumber plate, I always say lumber plate jack. And I've got this little red flower that I will use as well, just because I have it. Found it, so I will be using that. A bit of stamping. Let's get the choice of stamps. So I'm going to use these wonderful foam rubber stamps. Just tapping my ink on in all directions. And then I'm going to just make sure that this is making good contact, as it's a foam rubber stamp. It's not a rubber stamp or a clear stamp, and it sometimes can be a bit tricky. But there we go. That's not too bad. And now for this one. It takes a little bit more ink to get a good coverage with this. But once it's saturated, it should be fine. And yes, I'm lifting this up so I can press from the bottom. You can't reposition these unless you have used a stamping platform. So there we have that. I just want to add a little flower. Maybe there. There or there. I think there, because it makes the eye move. So I need a little something to heat my glue gun with, which is a little candle. I have glue guns, but I'm just too lazy to get it out now. And that means I have to move a few things to be able to plug it in. So what I normally do is I just melt it, as you can see. It's on the workbench, so when it cools down, bends a bit. I just want to maybe try and get a little bit more ink on here while we have the chance, as it didn't stamp too well. And the oxide ink is a little bit more opaque than the distress ink, but I obviously did not hold it properly and made a good impression. But that's better. That's not too bad. Easily rectified. Now for this, let's get this melted. This is the stem, so I'm going to just fold it down. And we decided we will put it up there. So just a little bit of hot glue. Not too much. I could have used my normal glue. It's not an issue. Doesn't take that long, especially if you're just going to use a tiny bit. And oops, my uncle. There we go. Much quicker than wanting to heat it up with electricity. This I'll let it cool so that that can set. And that way I use my little tea light candle over and over and over. Our little journal is done. Ready for Christmas. And it was a quick one. You can now go and add your photos, your ideas, pictures, whatever it is that you want to do with this. It can be so many different things. If you want to, you can put your favorite Christmas recipes in here. It isn't just always about photos and memories, but those are very important. I read a quote the other day that you never realize how important photos are till it is the only memory you have. Something to that extent. And it actually touched me really deeply because it is true. So you can do what you want with your journal. It can be ideas, it can be our journal. You can use it to record those family times, holiday maybe, whether it is Southern Hemisphere or Northern Hemisphere. It's for you to enjoy. So there's our little journal. Was a quick one with a 4-part series. I hope you enjoyed it with me. At this point, I want to say thank you for joining me for this one and for all the others. If you have walked the road with me, it's now a year since I started Wawa Crafting YouTube channel, a little bit more on my Instagram. If you do make a journal, please tag Wawa Crafting on social media. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And of course, you can always share this. Now, at this point, if you watch till here, please send me a little comment at the bottom of this video of what is your most fondest memory of a Christmas holiday or a Christmas tradition, and share that with me if you so wish. See you back soon for the next one, and Merry Christmas to one and all. And I'll see you back in the new year. I will be taking a little break, and the last video that is posted will be on the 21st. It is a little Christmas card, and I'm also wishing you a happy Christmas, a wonderful time with your family and friends. Enjoy it, stay safe, and return in the new year refreshed and ready for 2024. See you back then. Goodbye.